Hello, everyone. As promised, I am coming up with how Venus retrograde is affecting the zodiacs and how we need to react and what we need to do. Well, what makes this Venus retrograde cycle so intense? It's not only the connection Venus makes with Pluto, but also Chiron in the retrogression chart. When Venus goes retrograde, she's in a tight 1 degree conjunction with Pluto. And on the very same day that Venus goes retrograde, Chiron goes direct. Now, Pluto and Chiron are very intense energies to work with. Both Pluto and Chiron are interested in the background work or the shadow work, as we say. Neither Pluto nor Chiron shy away from the dark side. They go as deep as needed. They excavate whatever needs to be brought to the surface so that whatever needs transforming is transformed. Or I would put it this way, since we don't do the decluttering of our own lives, Pluto and Chiron have the ability to push us towards decluttering what is not needed in our life. So, when Venus goes retrograde, a very powerful emotion revelation will unveil a hidden wound and at the same time will set in motion the necessary healing process. We may suddenly become aware of what we want, of what we value, and what will also suddenly, we will also suddenly become aware of this during this time that there is no doing the same things over and over again. We must go deep within only, then shall we heal. So it reminds us, and it reminds us so powerfully that we have no option but to dig deep within and then start the process of healing. So Venus retrograde is by definition a journey within. Venus slows down, rising lower and lower each day, closer and closer to the horizon, and at some point she just disappears. She just vanishes into the glaring rays of the sun. There are many myths surrounding Venus's disappearance from the evening sky. So, when Venus is retrograde, we too need to go deep within ourselves to do the required emotional work. In the middle of the Venus retrograde cycle, we embrace our faults. Only then will we experience a rebirth or a rejuvenation or a renewing of the heart. This process does take 40 days, after which Venus is now ready to rise again, this time as a morning star with more self awareness connected to her heart and to do what really matters. So, this Venus retrograde in Capricorn is like it experiences the power of love. So, when Venus goes direct on January 29th, 2022, the whole Venus retrograde cycle, the intense affair with Pluto, has only been a prelude to the great adventure of love. Venus and Pluto will meet again for the third time on March 3rd, 2022. Venus is not alone, but this time she pairs with Mars. In fact, we have an incredibly passionate triple conjunction on March 3rd, 2022, where Venus, Mars, and Pluto all align to the 27th degree of Capricorn. So during the retrograde, Pluto showed Venus where she is enslaved by her desires and default emotional patterns. So when Venus gets to meet Pluto again, she's not the same Venus. She has transformed. Venus is now in touch with her heart and knows what she wants. Venus is now ready to start again with no emotional conditionings nor expectations of how things should be, but with an awareness that what we want only matters as long as it is in alignment with what Pluto wants. So there's something magical in being honest and vulnerable. Opening your heart from that place of truth is the most powerful energy in the universe. Being truly connected with our feelings doesn't mean whining if we don't get what we want. In fact, emotional honesty always has a vulnerable, cathartic feel to it. When we open ourselves up, we don't know how the world will respond. We may win, or we may lose. There's an element of surrendering to the feeling, to allowing the feeling to emerge without expectations of particular outcomes. So, the advice for zodiacs now during this retrograde is that if you're an Aries sign or of an Aries ascendant, Aries, if you're worried about your love life, well, don't be. This retrograde, contemplate on your inner energies and reciprocate the way you feel best. You'll never know unless you take a leap of faith and start the conversation. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar 10th house of career and reputation. On the job front, you may be compromising with those you work with, or you may not be satisfied with your colleagues. Your career and responsibilities can be under question or surveillance or review. But be as non judgmental as you can with others during this cycle as you reassess matters. Try finding ways and means of how you can enhance your work scenario. Understand yourself as to how you may want to project yourself. Be inspired or self motivated. Have the self belief that you can achieve if you put your mind and soul to your projects. Review, introspect, reserve your opinions, and come to conclusions after patiently studying the prospects. For Taurus and the Taurus ascendants, meditate and question yourself whether you want to revisit your past. Abstain from creating awkward situations for yourself. You should be clear in your heart and mind. Best would be for you to move on in life with confidence and self belief. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar ninth house of faith, spirit, and adventure. There could be disagreements of personal philosophies in life which could hamper your relationships. By being patient and not sitting judgmental on what others feel will help you tide across this retrograde. If your larger plans or visions do not seem to fit in with others, then reassess and take a closer look at the real problem. This is a cycle during which you need to perhaps redefine your visions. Venus rules your sign, suggesting that you could be distancing yourself from others and questioning whether others are truly good for you. An old lover might resurface in your life, complicating the present. With Venus as your ruler, you're especially sensitive to all of the Venus retrograde issues. It also rules your work and health sector, and the desire for satisfaction and cordial relations on the job is likely strong now, but complicated to achieve. Patience, my friend, will help you tide over your personal issues. For Gemini ascendants and the sign Gemini, do not indulge in any kind of power play. Do not stress yourself out in any way. By being in your space and giving, you could perhaps sort matters out amicably. Be in your space and give space to your partner too. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar 8th house of intimacy, shared resources, and personal transformation. Be more vigilant and mindful with money, work on a budget, and be more careful when discussing issues that revolve around your intimacy and sexuality. A disagreement over joint finances can also get you into hot soup, and it may be wise to hold off, observe, and reserve your comments or judgment. What you say now can have annoying ramifications. Temporarily, you may feel unappreciated or unsupported. Use this time to review your finances or to handle financial matters such as taxes that you have put off earlier. Because Venus rules your romance sector, don't jump to conclusions. If a lover is acting a little distant, just be patient. Speak your truth or what makes you genuinely happy. Venus also rules your 12th house. You are liable to confuse others of what you truly desire. Speak honestly and clearly and speak your truth. Cancer sign and for Cancer ascendants, you may develop a kind of fear of how you are projecting yourself. You will feel vulnerable and you may want to protect yourself. Instead of hiding your true fears, it's the appropriate time for you to face your truth. Communicating honestly will help you sort your problems out. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar seventh house or one to one partnerships. Misunderstandings with your partner can aggravate your situations. So, communicate clearly and talk through your problems. Do your best to be as non judgmental as possible and try not to overact. Overact or overreact. So some partnerships could be at a standstill point, so it's best to hold yourself or hold your judgment or take any action until Venus goes direct. Hold your horses till about another 2 months. This is a time to reassess your comfort levels with relationships by speaking your truth calmly. Now, for Leo ascendants or Leo signs, do not encourage frivolous relationships, especially if you're not sure. If you do not want any strings attached, then be clear from the very beginning, or else unnecessarily you may complicate matters. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar sixth house of work, health, and habits. You need to question your sense of routines and discipline in your life. Don't get frustrated with yourself or others in question. Be responsible for yourself and do not rely on others to sort your life out for you. For now, do not desire warm relations on the job front or harmony, pleasure, or you don't need to seek harmony, pleasure, satisfaction from your work. Just keep focused and keep doing your work, which just matters to you. Now, it's very important for you that it's the daily chores and routines that you need to work on. Focus and be mindful of what you can obtain from the present rather than plan for the future. The process of healing and working in the present will give you more happiness. Venus ruled areas of your chart are career, authority figures, and communications. Be patient, as you may not get what you desire if you try to push your way about. Be prepared for delays and allow time to pass at its own pace. It's a good time to review and reassess things, people, or situations. Reserve your comments for a later date. Now, for Virgo signs and ascendants, do not complicate your life by indulging in a love triangle. Do not fall a prey to your feelings and think you can have your cake and eat it too. Before jumping into any kind of situation, look at all the angles to ensure that you're not the one who loses in the end. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar fifth house of romance, pleasure, speculation, and children. Because the cycle directly affects your sector of romance and speculation, you should be specially wary of taking risks with gambling or making ill considered moves in love. However, it's a good time for reassessing your satisfaction levels in regards to pleasure, entertainment, creative expression, or romance. You may feel a slowdown or perceive that you are on shaky grounds in the romance sector. Do not jump to any conclusion. It's likely that your partner needs to be in his or her own space. Do not complicate matters by reuniting with ex lovers or seeking excitement elsewhere. Venus rules your money and possession sector, as well as your ninth house of adventure and discovery. Take caution on impulsive spending. Take the time to review your finances. Try not to feel disillusioned with life in general. Think about ways to improve your life experiences. And now for Libra sign and its ascendant, you have a habit of trying to keep everyone happy, and this can be a bit stressful if you indulge now. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar fourth house of home and family. Relations with your family may be a little strained, or you may feel uncomfortable with the present scenario. It's about time that you need to be independent and be responsible for yourself and your own actions. The desire or need for warm relations with family members or seeking support and a feeling of security is especially strong. Do not be desperate for now. For now is the time to think about how to improve your home and relationships from your side. Don't expect, just accept and be comfortable with yourself of what you have at the present moment. Your eighth house of shared resources and intimacy is Venus ruled as well. And you might find your intimate life leaves you wanting for more, and that it's hard to find emotional and financial support when you need it most. As well, you are ruled by Venus, making this an important period for reflection and introspection. Now, for Scorpio sign and its ascendant, old love life rekindles and you may experience nostalgia. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar third house of communication, siblings, and neighbors. You might feel withdrawn and not feel like indulging in small talk. Introspection may also want you to alienate a few people. Some aspects of life may come as a surprise to you. Just accept and learn to move on in life. Declutter the old for newness to come into your life. Communications may seem insincere. In fact, you may have a hard time getting your ideas across in a warm, genuine manner. For some, conversations about love or about past relationships can figure strongly. This is a time for re-evaluating personal interests, communications projects, studies, channels, or your communication channels or transportation matters, and you could be dabbling a lot with media. Delays are likely, but they can lead to important edits. Your partnership sector is ruled by Venus, and you could find some challenges relating to a spouse or a close partner. Past lovers may figure strongly in your life now. With Venus ruling your privacy sector, you could also be dealing with past actions or karma. It's time to redefine what and possibly who it is that you desire. Sagittarius sign, and if you're of a Sagittarius ascendant, you never look back. But Venus retrograde may reconnect you with an ex who needs a closure before moving on. Give them the chance to express their feelings and let them have the closure they need. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your second house of money and values. As such, in addition to the general cautions, it's best to be more vigilant with your money. Take the time to rethink your sources of income and how you spend your cash during this period, and avoid making any big purchases until July or August. If possible, you might use this time to work on how you attract or repel the income that you deserve. Friendships and working relationships are Venus ruled in your chart, and special care should be exercised in these areas of life. Be patient if these matters fail to satisfy you for the time being. Take this time to reassess what and who is more important to you or the most important in your life. For Capricorn sign and Capricorn ascendants, do not pay heed, particularly at this time, if you feel an urge to send a friendly text to your ex. Be forewarned, there will be nothing friendly about their response. Try not to relive the past. The present and future is for you to enjoy. So be independent and happy in the world that you create for yourself. You'll be dealing with issues surrounding independence, independence in the manner and the image that you want to present to the world. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs entirely in your sign, affecting your first house of personal appearance and mannerism. It's very much affects the personal image you want to project to others. Others may misunderstand what you do and say and misread your body language. And that is also going to come in spurts during these 6 weeks. Events may be such that you feel the need to rethink the way you present yourself. You may be coming across in a harsher or more distant manner without even realizing it. Try to keep things status quo with regards to your love life until you've given everything some thought. Take this time to review your instinctual responses to new things or experiences and the first impression that you make on others in terms of how these things help or hinder you. Venus ruled areas of your solar chart that are also affected are career as well as relationships with everyone. Just be patient and calm. Do not try to rectify situations. Be yourself. Utilize this period to understand yourself. Develop confidence in your own beliefs, and this will help you better your relationships that are important to you. By being patient, you will find yourself in a much happier state of mind. Keep in mind that slowdowns can serve good purpose. For the sign of Aquarius and the Aquarian ascendants, don't allow impulsiveness to get the better of you. Play it cool and go slow. Before you make plans to make serious commitments, it's important to figure out your feelings. Are they serious, or is this just physical attraction? This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar 12th house of all that lies beneath the surface of things. People from the past may resurface, and this can happen physically through messages, or they might simply come to the forefront of your mind. You may be dealing with the past karma now. What you want from love, your desires can see ambiguous and obscure things during this cycle. Deal with your past so that you can put it behind you, but don't do it at the expense of your present. Complications in life are always self created. A bit of patience can lead you towards a world of fulfillment. It would serve you in your best interests if you leave major purchases or investments for a later date. Pisces. And for the Pisces ascendants, it's important to not divulge your secrets, especially to someone who has been in your life in the recent past. Learn from the past experiences and keep notorious people at bay. This Venus retrograde cycle occurs in your solar 11th house of friendships, groups, and aspirations. Your friendships or associations with groups may be a little strained during this period. You may feel withdrawn, and others might misinterpret your intentions. You may get the feeling that friends are either disinterested or insincere during this cycle, or a separation can feel weightier than usual. Your satisfaction from your current social life or happiness goals and projects can come into question now, offering you the chance to reassess and find ways to make improvements. This retrograde cycle also affects the Venus ruled sectors of your solar chart, which are communication and intimacy sectors. You may be feeling unsupported emotionally and financially, and you may feel a little withdrawn when it comes to daily communications. Be introspective and try to improve your old habits, which have been a source of agony. This can be a time for taking a second look at debts, shared resources, and intimate relationships. Make your choices and do it wisely. Use this retrograde period to the best of your advantage. Be introspective, do review the situations, reassess the situations, and then manifest them when Venus goes direct after January 29th. Till then, stay blessed and be introspective.